Previously at Apeiron.
What is the mind? The mind is not your brain. So much as your brain is the hardware, your brain is the physical specimen, while your mind is the software that runs the program of your life. Let me tell you something. Your mind is the invisible powerhouse where your thoughts, your imaginations, your beliefs, and perceptions are formed. I know several times you've heard about the word, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And perhaps you're perturbed and perplexed, asking yourself a question. What exactly in the world is the conscious mind? Me, I think I have a brain. What are these people exactly talking about? In this video, I'm going to be helping you break down what the subconscious mind is and what the conscious mind is, and how the two contribute towards your success. Remember, in part one, we established that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is that man. Now, I feel it's very imperative that you also get to a position of understanding what is the subconscious mind and what is the conscious mind. So welcome back once again to this channel. My name is New Manasa, and I'm always very excited that you choose to invest in yourself by simply consuming this constructive content that is intended to bring about transformation. I am a life coach and the lead consultant and founder at Apeiron Mentorship and Coaching Hub. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Now, today, we're going to be getting into what I termed part 2 in our series called The Mind. And I'm going to be helping you understand the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. So straight away, let's get into it. The conscious mind. This is the part of your mind that thinks. Remember, we said your mind has two parts. There's a first part which we are going to term the conscious mind, right? So the conscious mind, if we are to paint a picture, a clear one to you, the conscious mind is the part of your mind that, number one, thinks, number two, reasons, number three, analyzes. So it's a faculty that is responsible for discernment. What I mean in this, it's through the conscious mind that you get to know this is New Manasa. It's through the conscious mind that you get to know this is white. It's through the conscious mind that you can tell that this is a watch, right? It's through the conscious mind that you will get to know that this is my baby, my wife. Otherwise, if we did not have the conscious mind, we would not actually tell the difference between different things, right? So it is what we actively use to make decisions. But guys, here is the catch. This mind is limited. Let me show you with this example of a newborn baby. When the child is born, right, the conscious mind is barely active. And the baby does not question. Do you know that babies do not reason? That's wonderful. Have you ever seen a newborn? They do not reason. A toddler does not reason. Instead, they just absorb everything that comes from their environment directly into their subconscious. So what the baby catches are faces, voices, languages, and emotions. Think about it. A child naturally speaks a language, naturally adopts to culture, norms, or even mirrors behaviors, all without a conscious thought. Can you imagine how beautiful and powerful God is when I think about how He created the mind? So, the conscious mind of the baby develops later. But in the development process, we see that the baby cannot tell that I'm going to fall from this platform. It's too high. That's why this baby can go and touch or touch something hot. That's why this baby can actually move naked. Why? The conscious faculty, the reasoning ability is not there. So I'm not in any way sounding condescending or insultive when I say that the babies don't reason. A baby can just walk, a toddler can just walk and step on a nail. A toddler, that's why it's always the mothers and fathers who are always available to hold this baby. Don't go into the fire, don't go into the hot water, whatever it is. But the baby does not actually reason. Quite surprising. Babies don't reason. Why? That faculty is not yet developed. So that faculty develops later on. But as long as they are 1, 2, 3, they don't care. They'll move out naked. Whether you see them or not, they don't care. So the reasoning ability or capacity is not yet developed in them. So I'm saying this to help you understand what the conscious mind is. Once that baby begins to develop the consciousness, that baby will now start to know it's important for me to dress. That baby will now start to tell, this is fire, this is hot. You get it? That baby will now start to understand, this is, if I do this, I'm going to get spanked. That baby will know. So, at that level, when they are a toddler, psychologists say from the age of maybe conception, like at when they are born, up to around 7 years. What is functioning, the mind that is open, or what is functioning in their lives is the subconscious mind. So they are just fully taking in information, so they cannot even determine what they can take in. No, anything around that baby is going into them. So that's how they are being programmed. So it's like planting a seed before the gardener even shows up. It's automated programming. I want to ask you a question, guys, family. What seed has your conscious mind been planting or lately? Are they intentional seeds? That's my question to you. Because now you know that it is even through the conscious mind that you're able to make a decision on what you take in. So it's through the conscious mind that you will say, no, I'm not going to listen to politics. It might corrupt my mind. I'm not going to listen to negativity. So this is the part of your mind that discerns, that separates, that analyzes, that does the bit of telling the difference, and it thinks. This is where the thinking goes on. This is the part of your mind where actions, this is the part of your mind where goals are set. This is the part of your mind that wishes, maybe I wish change comes. That's the conscious aspect of your mind. And to surprise you, it is very pivotal, because when we look, as I'm going to be talking about the subconscious setting, the setting of the subconscious at one point is going to stem from what is received at the conscious. So you need to be, so when we say be very careful, literally we are saying be very cautious of what you take in. Be very cautious of what you consume. Why? It will end up being reflected in at the subconscious level. So let me hope that analogy has been able to paint a clear picture of the baby, of what the subconscious mind is. So as the baby gradually begins to develop, that faculty called the conscious mind begins to develop. And this baby now can tell the difference between black and white, the difference between cold and hot, the difference between up and down, the difference. So that baby will begin to make decisions. Very important. I guess the message I'm trying to pass on here is the fact that you also need to be very careful of what your toddler is exposed to. All right. Thanks so much. So now let's talk about the powerhouse. So unlike the conscious mind, this part of the mind never sleeps. Much as the conscious mind, when you sleep, when you go to bed, the conscious mind is shut off. But your subconscious mind does not sleep. It is still functioning. It stores memories. This is where your habits stem from. Why do I always eat in the night? Subconscious mind. Why am I always ticked off? I mean, 1 or 2 conversations I want to fight. Subconscious mind. This is where habits stem from. This is where emotions are kept. This is where beliefs are kept. And it quietly runs majority of our life. I love this because the good book says about this. As a man thinketh in his heart. So this is the heart that they are talking about. So is he. And the same good book says that what is filled in a man's heart will come out of his mouth. Isn't that powerful? This is their heart that they are talking about. The subconscious part of your mind. Everything you repeatedly consume. Let me say if it's social media, conversations, your real life experiences, even the words of the people around you get recorded here. So you remember that time when your dad said you're very beautiful. You remember that time when your mama gave you a hug and said you're the best, my baby. That was recorded here in the subconscious mind. You remember that time when your paps bought you something and you felt very excited. All those memories were kept here. You remember that garbage that you watched on social media about maybe money. Everybody, ain't no money in America. That garbage, ain't no money in Africa. All that garbage, it is stored at this place. So your subconscious mind has a purpose, and that is to build perspective. What is perspective? Perspective simply means the unique way someone views life or the world. Do you know that all of us do not have the same perspective? If you take time to interview maybe 50 people, this is what you're going to be able to realize. That number one, people interpret life differently. And why do they interpret life differently? Because of the difference in perspective. And what shapes the perspective? What they believe. So if someone feels they are afflicted, this is a bad country, we ain't gonna make it in this country, man, things are bad, it's tough. All this stems from their inner man, the subconscious setup. They are hurt. That's where all these things are coming from. Now, so let's see how are beliefs formed. I want us to look at that. How are beliefs formed? So, number one, the environment in which you dwell. Remember we said that from the time when you were birthed, right, up to around the age of 7, your subconscious faculty was open. And it was taking in memories. It was taking in moments. It was taking in energy. It was taking in words. It was taking in language, voices. Right? So your environment has the ability to shape your perspective. And I know that someone is thinking, so this guy is trying to say that maybe I'm thinking I'm afflicted in this country and I'm wrong. What I'm simply saying, in the same country where you're saying you're afflicted, there are people that are living their best. What's the difference? The way you see the world. Do you know that sometimes, just sometimes, the toughest of things that come to test us actually in there, all right? The greatest opportunities originate. Some of the things that people thought are gonna kill. I'll give you an example. People like Oprah Winfrey. These people come from the toughest of backgrounds. I want you to think about a guy like Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey, one of the people who like give me ultimate inspiration, because if you read the story and what this guy was able to go through, imagine, as a slave, he was able to purchase or buy his freedom, right? And it was taken away from him again. You get the point? And again he bought. So why did he not say, I'm gonna die a slave? It's perspective, how he saw life. He did not see himself as a victim, but rather a victor. And he looked at the challenges as an opportunity for him to even get better. It is through this environment that Marcus Garvey was able to learn. He was able to learn how to write and speak English. Quite tremendous. And there's a brother, because perhaps something happened, everybody is bad, everybody is ain't good, human beings are wicked, human beings are terrible. That's perspective. How was it? How did it come about? It's the environment. Number two, the experiences you go through in life. They're going to be shaping your perspective. That's why you ought to stand up at this point. You've got to be very careful of which people are in my life. You've got to be very careful, because it's through those people that experiences are going to stay. Then thirdly, the people that influence you. I'm talking about if your influencers are negative people, if the people that you look at, that's why we as we bring babies into this world, we gotta be very careful. Because if you are a loser, and again you're the influencer of your baby, you're creating a reality that losing is a good life. You get the point. You gotta be very careful of the people that influence you. Don't let losers, don't let people that do not have anything influence you. Choose rightly on the people, because the people that influence you will speak words into your life. And let me assume you have a very toxic father. Every time he's saying you ain't good, you're bad, you're ugly, you ain't gonna make it, you're gonna die, you're gonna whatever, that is going to start to remember, those videos are recorded in your subconscious mind, and in the end they are going to shape how you see life. Do you know how many women hate men simply because their paps was a wicked man, a drunkard guy who just came and kicked everybody's behind? And at this point they hate every man. Every man is bad and wicked. No, that ain't how life works. They are good men. What's the problem? You have shaped that reality, and the problem, the situation is that you cannot attract a good man with that kind of mindset. Thirdly, the information you repetitively absorb. I'm going to give you an example. If you sit on my videos repeatedly, what's going to happen is that there's going to be a shift in your mind. Why? This information that you're consuming is now seated into your subconscious mind. And these videos are stored, and there's a reprogramming that is ongoing. Right? Very important. But here is when it gets interesting. The subconscious aspect of faculty is autopilot. It reacts before your conscious mind even has time to think. I'm going to give you examples. You meet someone in a high pressure situation, and suddenly your palms begin to sweat. Your heartbeat begins to rise before you consciously react. You get my point? Imagine someone from a rural area, or what we call a village in Africa, meeting a well-spoken city folk for the first time. They start to feel nervous. They shrink back. Maybe they even avoid eye contact. Why? It's all automated. That's autopilot. All experiences and learned reactions are running your behavior silently. Have you ever been in a position where they say you are going to present and you start sweating? You didn't even think about it. So that's how powerful the subconscious mind is, because it's autopilot. It runs without your consent. They say you're going to present and you start to sweat, you start to fidget. What does that mean? Old experiences. Old experiences, memories, right? Fear and learned reactions are running your behavior silently. Even habits like driving a car, brushing your teeth, or typing on a keyboard happen on autopilot. You rarely think about you rarely think about brushing your teeth. It just happens. I mean, you know that I wake up in the morning and I gotta brush my teeth, right? So let me ask you a question today. What's that one habit that you do daily without thinking? That's autopilot. It could be at work, it could be at home, it could be in your workplace, it could be in your marriage. What's that one thing that you do without thinking about? Some people, without thinking, they can't let anybody talk. The moment you start talking, they hijack you. It's based on the old experiences, based on the things that were learned, and it's happening behind, silently, in your behavior. So, allow me quote Henry Ford, and it says, whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. That's autopilot influencing the outcomes of your life. So guys, like I said earlier, your mind is the womb of all manifestations. It's the originator of every life-changing idea. So the conscious mind will determine what seeds you plant in the garden. And the subconscious mind is the fertile soil that grows them. What an analogy. The conscious mind is the determining factor of what is planted in the mind, in the mind, while the subconscious faculty is the fertile soil that will grow them. Together, they create your result, your results. The results that we are having when it comes to our finances, relationships, work, careers, those results come from these two parts of the mind. And research shows that the conscious mind contributes 5%, but the subconscious mind contributes 95% of your individual success. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you want different results, right, you must reprogram your subconscious mind. So you have to reprogram your mind. A very important, and this decision can only be made by you. So that now, what you gotta do is you don't have to miss part 3, because in part 3, I'm gonna be helping you understand how do you actually reprogram your mind. So don't miss that part 3 of this series. This series is called Understanding Your Mind. In part 1, we cover what the mind is, the purpose of the mind, and how it works. Part 2, we look at the two parts of the mind, the conscious and the subconscious mind. And in part 3, we're going to be talking about how to reprogram your mind. So again, my name is New Manasa, and I'm always excited that you choose to spend your beautiful time here with me, and that you love yourself enough to invest into your growth. Make sure you like this video, comment, give me your comments. What are your biggest takeaways? Let me know in the comment section. And most importantly, subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell so that you don't miss out on part 3. Remember, you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. And you are who you are is a story your subconscious mind keeps telling you. So make sure that you guard your mind and have a blessed time with you, yourself, and your family. Again, Thank you so much for always blessing us with your presence on this channel. My name is New Manasa, and I'm excited. Let's meet in part 3. Let's go.